everything? I have no idea. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. YouTube.com/Geek Aloud. It's Monday night. It's 8 p.m.-ish. So, of course, Troy is on duty with Steve on Discord. How are you?
I'm on duty. I'm just laughing because we're all going live. We're just wondering if everything's been checked for half a second before we start. So let's hope we're coming through loud and clear.
We can't rush.
But on duty, ready to talk some video games, Troy.
I love it, mate. I absolutely love it. Now, for everyone tuning in at home or wherever you are, maybe you're on a bus, I don't know. This is the way Game Enforcement Agency works. First off, we kick down the doors and interrogate and deliberate over some games. Then we kick down another door. It's called the newsroom. We check out what's happening on the news desk. Then we kick down another door and we have a standoff. It's the best of whatever it is for this week. And I'll give you a hint. This week, it's the best bit of Q1 we think is coming up in the video gaming landscape. Things to keep your eye out for. And then finally, the fourth door we kick in is your door. That's right. We come to you, the audience. We ask you questions all throughout the show. Bang them on in the chat. We round them all up at the end. So if you want to get involved in that conversation, we'd love you to. Sound off in the chat as we go, and we'll get to them at the end. Steve, have I forgotten anything?
That's it, I think. Let's get this show on the road.
Perfect. Well, in that case, let's kick down the first.
Let's do it.
All right. Why didn't that kick off? What is going on? That's 2 weeks in a row that got me. That is what should have happened. All right. Game one this week is Metro Redux, and you're looking at it here coming straight off my PlayStation 5. I installed this game earlier last year, I think. Later last year. I think it was October or November, but I never really got a chance to get into it until we just had that Christmas downtime. And it started to speak to me. Off the top, Steve, I have no idea. What's your history with Metro, mate?
I've played Metro Last Light, and Exodus, and loved all of them.
Excellent. Well, you're the man to speak to then, because this is my first real time going hands-on, in-depth with the game. And I've got to say, they do Fallout, in my opinion, better than Fallout. How do you take that?
It's funny you should say that. I literally just loaded up Exodus today because I saw that you had Metro Redux on the list of games that you've been playing, and I just jumped in and I was like, this is actually a much polished, better version of Fallout.
It is. Never had I delved into it before, but when I was going through it the last couple of days, it's really struck me how Fallout this game is. Now, there's not the branching dialogues. It's not really role-playing as such. You don't get sort of dialogue choices, but the world, the environment, and the gameplay mechanics you're interacting with, other than choice and consequence through narrative dialogue, is all Fallout. So if you love that stuff of Fallout, but the dialogue stuff isn't a must-have for you and you haven't looked at Metro, definitely check it out, because it's a thought out, impressive series. It's a lot of fun to play. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I haven't seen it glitch once. I'm talking about I haven't seen, one tree in the wrong spot, something missing, someone launched, stuck in a roof. This game is well and truly bug tested. I got to say, I'm a big fan of it. And it feels like a sleeper hit for me. I don't feel like enough people talk up the Metro series.
No, I think I do. Like Exodus was probably one of my favorite games the year it came out. I think it was 2019. I think Exodus came out, and just the graphics in that game were insane. The gameplay, like the stealth sort of action combat, first-person shooter like mechanics are really well done in the game as well. So that bodes well for all the Metro games.
It really does, man. I'll just say, this is up on screen. You can see that menu there. I love the way they've used the loading screen. It's essentially a picture of a map, but it's your journey so far and the current objective or the destination you're going to. So every time it's loading, even though it's mute, and the loads are quick on a PS5, but it's still a great chance to say, hey, remember you're this far into the campaign, or this is what you're doing now. They've really done it well. Even when you die, I like the way they treat you in this game. It's a well play-tested series, I would assert, so a lot of fun to be had there.
I think the funny thing is, the main character isn't voice acted, but he talks during those loading screens. Have you noticed that?
I didn't realise that was meant to be me speaking through those loading screens.
Yeah, well, it definitely is in Exodus. I haven't played Metro, but I'm pretty sure if it's a Russian male voice speaking, that's actually your character speaking.
Shows how much I pay.
But just watching your gameplay here, I just like the game actually looks like a current gen game as well.
It really does. It looks perfect on the series, on the PlayStation 5, I should say. And I'm hopeful. I'm like, if the next, or not Fallout, what are they doing? Starfield. If Starfield looks and runs this well, I'll be very happy with it.
I'll be very happy and very surprised if Bethesda can get us a game without any bugs.
It's a tall order from Bethesda, isn't it?
It really is.
So that's it for me. I'm a big fan of the Metro. I think I'm about 6 hours in at this point. Thoroughly enjoying it. I haven't finished it though. But if those sort of games appeal to you, I recommend it. Consider it on your radar.
Absolutely.
And now game 2 is for you, Stephen, and we are watching the trailer for Destiny 2's Witch King. Not Witch King. What is it? The Witch Queen?
Witch Queen.
Yes, the Witch Queen. Steve, tell us things about Destiny 2, please.
Oh, mate, I said last week that I was just sort of starting to get my hooks back into Destiny, and now I'm well and truly down that rabbit hole, Troy.
Small question for you, Steve. Did Destiny get its hooks in you, or did you get your hooks in Destiny?
I got my hooks into Destiny.
All right.
No, mate, I haven't had this much. I haven't had this much fun playing a first-person shooter for a while, but I've obviously just finished playing Halo and really enjoyed that, and that's the reason I'm playing this game. And it's just sort of carried on that love that I had for Halo, now being able to play this game, and I sort of had that itch to sort of grind in a first-person shooter and unlock loot and all that stuff. And that's what Destiny's given me. Like Halo doesn't have that in the campaign. I can't play the campaign and unlock a whole bunch of different skins and stuff. You got the multiplayer stuff for that, and we'll talk about the store and stuff later. And I don't really care for the customization in Halo as much. Whereas in Destiny, like they've changed things now. Like with the color stuff you unlock, it used to be a usable item where you could only use it once and stuff. But now every color stuff you've unlocked, you can use that thing multiple times on weapons, on clothing, individual clothing, on your whole clothing, on your spaceships, and it's just reusable non-stop. So customizing stuff is like way more fun and fluid than it used to be.
Can I ask you on that point, mate? Isn't that the way? I feel like in Destiny 1, it was unlimited uses, and then it was Destiny 2, and who acquired them from the release of Destiny 2? And I feel like whoever that was it Activision? And then they forced them to make them one use and pay for it, and everyone got upset about Activision. So I reckon this might be going back to Destiny 1, possibly.
Well, yeah, I think you remember now that Bungie sort of moved away. They dropped sort of Activision now, and they've that's when the game's sort of taken on this whole new version of Destiny 2, where they've axed the whole campaign from the initial Destiny 2, and now they've brought back all the maps and stuff from Destiny 1, being a Cosmodrome and the EZD, whatever it's called. Yes. All these levels on the moon, all coming back from Destiny 1, which are all great locations. And that's another thing I love about this game is if you get sick of one location, so I liked the Halo campaign location, but people say, it's a bit boring, you want different biomes and stuff. Destiny, you can, if you get bored of a location, and these locations are huge, you can just move to the next one and spend hours in that one grinding away. Different enemy types as well come up. It's just as fun to shoot things in this game as it is in Halo. The feedback from the weapons is all really good. The weapons you unlock are awesome. And I'm on that grind now for exotic weapons, and I've just got an awesome exotic submachine gun, which does awesome electricity damage. And I'm just like, the more I use it, the more it powers the gun up. So I'm in it now.
Nice, man. Nice. And what's your who's your class currently? You a Titan?
No, when I first played Destiny, I went as a Titan back in the day, just because I'm like, this is the most like Master Chief that I can play, because I was obviously coming off Bungie making Halos. So, but since then, I've been a hunter, and I play as a hunter class because I just like the mobility of the hunter, and flying around that battlefield with my triple jump and stuff like that. So, I'm having so much fun with this, and I cannot wait for the expansion now.
Great, and it's not far off, and we'll cover it later. But this is a weird one. But the hunter, is his special the 6-shooter pistol? You're right. That's the starting special for the hunter, and then with all these new DLCs and stuff, you unlock different weapons. So I've got like a staff that you can use as well, which I've got, and then you've got like a bow and arrow one, and then you've also got these like void, what do you call them? Kind of like katana-y things as well. Okay.
You can flick between all different versions of your hunter now. So, and then you've got like ice abilities and stasis abilities and a whole bunch of different stuff now in this game that you can attach to each different class to make each different class almost like 3 or 4 different classes within that class. So,
oh wow!
Yeah, so there's just so much stuff in it. So apart from having a grapple hook, which I love, but the move of having a triple jump and stuff sort of alleviates a little bit of the movement issues I have with not having that. So, but no, mate, I'm loving Destiny 2 again. I'm deep back in it, and the fact that I've got all these DLCs that I haven't really started, I can flick between these campaigns, and it feels like I've got so much content still to go.
That's so interesting, man. If I didn't have so many games on the go, I'd totally get back into it. But you're igniting the passion within me here. You're talking about it, man.
Mate, if you could jump on, that'd be. Mate, it wasn't on mine at all as well, and I'd love to have some co-op with this with you because it'd make it even more fun just being able to shoot the shit with you while we shoot the shit.
Can we do this on Xbox? Or no, yours is on PlayStation, but he said cross-play.
It is cross-play now, Troy.
Because I've got space on the Xbox Series X to install it, but not the PS5.
Yeah, no, it's got cross-play names. So from what I've seen, when you log in, it gives you your essentially iPod, which is mine, and it attaches just a number to that, like a Bungie number. I think you just add people via that Bungie number.
Yeah. That's ringing a bell. Cool. Well, I will put it on Xbox and we'll give it a shot this week, mate.
Oh, mate, it's become my only game I'm playing at the moment. Like, I wanted to play more games this week to talk about more games, but every time I'm not playing this game, I'm like, I could be leveling up this game. I could be leveling up this. Like I'm finally back into it. I haven't had this sort of addiction to a game for a while.
It sounds like its hooks are well and truly in you, mate. I love it. I'd love to be there with you. And after completing Game 3, mate, I'm one step closer. That's right. I've finally finished the Halo Infinite campaign. I've rolled credits. I'm doubting back, but you'll understand why. I had a question for you with Destiny 2, mate. Have you noticed their interior sections and were there a lot of windows?
There's not any windows in Destiny 2, but they don't need them, Troy, because they're a very well-designed and good-looking interiors without the need for windows. So that's definitely one thing that Destiny's got over Halo is its interior locations. And I hope the guys at 343 are looking at their old competitor when it comes to Halo, when it comes to building environments.
Definitely, mate. Let's give them some more encouragement. Can I get 2 ratings for you? I want a numbered rating for the Halo campaign exterior and a numbered rating for the Halo Infinite interior. Give me some numbers.
So in terms of the way they look and all
everything, the whole lot. If they were 2 separate games and you had to give them numbers, what would the numbers be?
Okay. So I would give the outdoor campaign stuff probably a 9.
I'm right there with you, mate. Yep.
And I'd probably give the interiors by the end of it probably around a 6 or 7.
Yes! I was thinking 7 and 9, man. That's perfect. I love it.
And the 7 bumps up mainly towards the end where you they do change it up a little bit where they sort of have those battle arena areas where you're fighting all those enemies and you've got like tanks and stuff inside there and pelicans and stuff. So that sort of changed up a little bit. I thank God they did that because if I was just running around these same hallways for that whole final part, then I would have been a little bit angry.
Yeah. I've got to say, man, I absolutely love the campaign front to back. Obviously, with you, the scores, the interiors are weaker, but I do want to underscore your point, man. At the end, those last 2 boss fights, now, they kicked my teeth in. I'm talking, I think you said last week, man, your playthrough was 8.5 or 7.5 hours or something?
7.5 on normal, yeah.
Yeah, so my normal playthrough was 16.5 hours, and I feel like I was maybe at 11 when I got to that second to last boss fight. I was struggled through those last 2 boss fights for a long time. It hurt.
Now, second to last, that was the Esherim, wasn't it? That was with where he comes down.
It's the 2 guys you got to take out.
Yeah, so you fight the elite inside the little bunkery thing.
Mm-hmm.
With the sword?
Yes.
Yeah, so he was fine.
Yeah. What's the one with the 2 big dudes?
2 big... Oh, not just the hunters.
I don't think they were just hunters, but maybe?
Because there's final boss fights.
I feel like there were 2 boss arenas, and both, like, the second boss arena ends with do we say who the fight's against, or is that a spoiler at this point?
It's not overly spoiler.
Can we call her a queen? I don't even know what her real label is.
Yeah.
So that's the last boss fight, but the arena before her, I swear, ends in the 2 dudes. It's like a bunch of rounds, and then it's 2 guys, isn't it?
No, you've got so you got those big rounds, then you got the elite inside the thing with the sword. So you beat what are they called? The Spartan Hunter. You beat that one, and you're trapped inside that sort of 3 or 2 tier room, and then you've got Estrom who comes out, and you've got the pilot who you've got to rescue, and
that guy.
he sort of gets charged by the shields.
That one, that boss fight killed me.
Yeah, he's pretty tough, and on Heroic, he's even tougher when I fought him the first time.
Does that not start with 2? I'm clearly wrong, but I thought it started with 2 and you killed one, and then you got like a whole nother fight with the second. Or does he just have like one of the hunters before him and I've confused it? Probably.
I can't remember. I'm trying to think. I think you may fight enemies before he comes down, but then he's like a decent big guy, but he's not a boss.
Oh, you know what it is? You know what it is? It's up a tower, isn't it?
Yeah.
I reckon the landing before him, you fight 2 guys, and then up on the top landing.
You do.
That's where I'm getting confused. It was right there. The tower boss, the second to top floor in the penthouse, they really kicked my teeth in.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely the hunters. Those things are bloody hard. On Heroic, like I'm not looking forward to doing on Legendary. The only way to sort of kill them is to try and... I think there's a skewer somewhere there, so the skewers are pretty good at taking them out regardless of whether you hit them in the armor or not.
Oh, I don't even know. What weapon's the skewer? What does that fire? What colour?
The skewers, it's like a big sort of grey thing with a bit of red on it. It's got the big spike at the end of it, and it shoots like this giant like nail kind of thing.
I don't think I used that weapon once. In the entire campaign. It's not ringing any bells.
It's hard because you do have to be very accurate with it. It's not like a rocket launcher. You just sort of
not one for me then. Yeah, I need a spray and pray or a shotgun.
Yeah, that's it. You need to headshot those things and they go down pretty well, but you just got to keep moving against them. That's all you can do.
Yeah, right. Anyway, I absolutely love the campaign, but I have finished with it now, and it's phenomenal. Obviously in Game Pass, so if you're a member already, there's no reason you wouldn't be playing it, but if you've skipped it for some reason, go back and play it. It's incredibly enjoyable.
It is. I've got a question for you, though. Towards the end where I won't do too many spoilers, did you get chills when a certain character wants to name themselves?
Oh, yes. Oh, I was going to do a whole bit for that. But yes, and yes. 100% yes.
Yeah, I was just smiling ear to ear when that happened. I'm like, I don't know whether they want us to fill in the blanks or what they're going to do with it, but I'm looking forward to what they do with either DLC or the next Halo game.
I guess we couldn't have a quick discussion about what we think she's going to call herself.
It's spoilery. Let's leave it out just for now. We'll give it a bit longer to play. The game came out December, so not everyone's going to probably finish the game by now. But I do enjoy that character very much, and I think they're a very sort of decent replacement for Katana. And I think moving forward, I really, really enjoy her and the way the relationship builds, and they have a little spat for a little bit. And she gets a bit salty, and it's really well done. I
got to say, man, those last 3 mission stories, they just. It's a beautiful culmination of realigning 2 characters. I absolutely loved it. It was fantastic.
Oh, me too, mate. And that's what sort of solidified this when I was like, it's my favourite campaign. It's just the personal story they tell between sort of Master Chief, Katana, and now the weapon, and that whole story. And then even the pilot, as annoying as he can be, he brings out the humanity in Master Chief and makes you feel like more of a badass.
The pilot never annoyed me. I was reading him copping a lot of flack online. I'm like, am I the only person that he didn't annoy at all? Anyway, so Halo Infinite campaign, absolutely loved it. Now, game 4, Stephen. Steve, I'm going to hand this directly over to you. Game 4, it's on Game Pass, and we are watching the trailer now that I ripped from YouTube earlier.
Now, Troy, I'm going to sum this game up in one sentence.
Yes.
I played this game so you don't have to.
Oh, look out. Is it that bad?
Yeah. I did not enjoy my time with this thing at all. It's got, it looked like you look at it and you go, okay, kind of looks Destiny-ish when it comes to its sort of the way it looks, its aesthetics and stuff, and it would appear like it's running, reasonably well at 60 frames. It does not. It barely feels like it's hitting 30 frames per second most times.
And so were you PS5 or Xbox Series X?
Just on Xbox because it was the game. I don't know if it's on PS5. But it is in early access, but I mean, I don't see it getting much better. I think one of the developers did make Left 4 Dead back in the day. He's sort of gone off, and this is like his independent sort of thing he's doing. Yep. But just, mate, the shooting does not feel good. The combat gets very boring very quickly. Every enemy you've seen in the very first 10 minutes of the game is the same enemy you're seeing by level 2 and level 3.
Mm-hmm.
The pathfinding in the game is terrible. You have no idea where you need to go. You're constantly like, I had players walking around with me, and it's like they thought I knew where I was going. Everywhere I went, they would follow me, and then we would just turn around and do a U-turn. Like, you had no idea where to go. It happened to me multiple times, and there's no dread of dying in the game. Like, if you die, you can be respawned real quickly. If you don't get respawned by the other guys, then you'll just come back anyway. Every weapon you look at these different weapons, you'd think they'd be different. No, the submachine gun essentially just feels like it doesn't fire as far as the auto rifle. The pistol doesn't feel good to shoot at all. Headshots don't feel good. Like, they have this like sort of really terrible animation. Just it's probably hampered by the fact I've been playing stuff like Destiny and Halo, which have these mechanics absolutely perfected. But even something like Back 4 Blood, which just came out last year, like as hard as it is, and it's not on my console anymore. That game is so much more polished, and the mechanics in that game actually make the game fun to play. This thing, Troy, oh my God, just the only thing good going for it is the way it sort of, not even say looks because it doesn't look great, but it's kind of the aesthetic of the whole thing. Like, I don't mind the whole sort of looks like 80s kind of sci-fi kind of thing going on.
Does it have any unique hook? Does it have a gameplay mechanic that's new?
None whatsoever. Everything you've done in this game, you've done in some other game, and another game's done it way better.
Wow.
Yeah, like, I thought this would just be a fun thing, just like looking at some of this stuff. Like, that'd be fun just to run around with friends or with bots and just shoot some aliens if the mechanics were good and it felt good and the sound was good, but just nothing in this game. Like, you look at even the way the hordes are just running at you, it's mindless, it's stupid. Like, Troy, like, it was free and it's already, it wasn't even that high. I think it was only a couple of gigs to download, but I didn't even want that taken up 2 gigs on my console.
Wow, scathing review from Steve. I don't think I've ever heard you open up this much on a game, mate. I love it.
No, I usually try and look at the good things in games, but I did not have one lick of fun playing this game, and I almost wish I could get can I put maybe 45, 50 minutes in it? I wish I'd done 2 minutes. But I wanted to give it a fair shot, Troy. I can't just shit on something without giving it a go, because I'm like, maybe it gets better, maybe maybe I'll get hooked the more I play it. The developers come out and said, this game's meant to be played over and over again, and the different difficulties and the swarms will come at different times. I'm like, mate, I don't care. It's exactly the same thing over and over again. Like, I would rather watch paint dry, Troy.
Wild. Okay, well, let's move on then to game number 5. I went back and visited Iki Island to its conclusion. Finally wrapped up that DLC, Steve, and I am a big fan of that DLC. Have you played it, mate?
I haven't done a whole lot of it. I downloaded it back when it first came out because that's what I do as a bit of a whale. Like, it's there. I'm going to download it and have a quick go. And then I think, what did I do? I didn't have it on my PS5 straight. Oh, maybe I did download my PS5 because when did it come out? Late last year?
November, I want to say last year.
Yeah, so I think it was on there, and I deleted Ghost of Tsushima, then I had the sort of pull to go back to it, and then I sort of jumped into it again, but it wasn't really what I was feeling like. I think I must have done it when I was in the start of my Destiny 2 phase, so anything that wasn't shooting, I just found it really hard to pull me in. So, but no, I remember looking at that world and going, oh my God, that world's so pretty still. And I'm just looking at your guy, that mask is huge.
Yeah, and if you take a real close look, he's got a monkey face on. He's got like cheeks and the lower face of a chimpanzee. I think it's amazing. But the color palette, I wanted to really shout out at the end, the conclusion, and it's only, I think I did it in 5 hours, so it's probably only a 3 hour or 3.5 hour run for you, mate, to get through the story. But what they do with the crescendo of that story is they jump between 3 locations relatively quickly, and they all have a different color palette, and it's just phenomenal, the use of color in that game, in that world, and it's almost like it was a color palette that they didn't even use in the original game. Like,
so to say, does it harken to the, like, you know how the multiplayer's got a lot of different color palettes to the main campaign? Does it use that kind of stuff?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly right, man. It really does. It leans into those colors a lot, but to great effect. They use it to tell, like, you really do feel like you're on a different island to the main island. Like, they've done it really well.
Okay, that's good.
And they sort of underscore the battles with this different color as well. It's really beautiful and done really nice, but I didn't want to put any of it on here because it'll be a spoiler. I don't want to say who the battle's against or anything. So, but I encourage anyone out there, if you're like me, because I bought it at the same time as Steve as soon as it came out, but I didn't play it till just now. So if you purchased it and never actually got around to it, it's a quick one. As I said, probably 3.5, 4 hours for most people, and thoroughly enjoyable. If you've already purchased and yet to go hit it, I say hit it this weekend. It's a lot of fun.
Awesome. I think I might have to reinstall it once I've got some space on the old hard drive again.
Oh, yes. Which brings us to Game 6 this week, and we are continuing our tradition of Call of Duty, one mission at a time. This is mission number, 5, I want to say? Lady Nightingale.
Mission 6, I believe.
Mission 6.
Yep.
This is Lady Nightingale, and I looked, Steve, and now I've forgotten. I want to say there's 4 more missions. I believe there's 10. So we've got another 4 weeks of this. Now, last week when we discussed Mission 5, mate, you said you were going to play it. And I'm just wondering, have you played the Nightingale mission?
Funny you should say that. I jumped on today just to make sure I was up to date with yourself. So I did finish off the last week's mission as well, which was fun with the old flamethrower, etc. Although I do definitely agree with you that the end of that mission would have been the perfect time to go into a flight mission.
Yes. How good would it have been? You can see it. It's perfect. And
it's the perfect setup. And I think if they kind of just switched those around and not done the flight bit in the first place, and just started with the crashing on the island and then you fly, I think that would have been probably a better way to tell the story and all that.
Yes, I agree completely.
No, I have played Lady Nightingale today as well, and I have to say this is probably my favourite level of the game so far.
Oh, really? I'm still with old mate in the jungle last week. I can't remember the name of that mission now. But I agree, this mission was phenomenal. This was some really old school Call of Duty in the snow, specifically Stalingrad all bombed out, always takes me back to Call of Duty 2. And I had such a soft spot in my heart for the original couple of Call of Duties. I put so many hours into those. And so it's really a nostalgia play for me, but it's so well executed. It looks phenomenal. It plays great. And the way they even do these emotional little beats with the characters. Oh, Steve, without spoilers, going back to Mission 3, what did you think of the emotional resonance at the start with Lady Nightingale here, but when she's at the dinner table, I'm referring to?
And just refresh my memory. I'm trying to think.
The mission starts. It's before there's any chaos. It's standard day in whichever city they're in, and they're having breakfast at the dinner table.
Oh, and she's talking with her brother and her dad and all that.
Oh yeah, how good is that? Like just talking specifically for Call of Duty, like the emotional resonance of that scene and the way those characters play out across the whole mission, I think is a new step up for Call of Duty. I think it's the best they've ever done.
No, I really like it. And I really like the sort of, even the small character development you get in this level here with this.
Well, I think this only works because he's your brother and they set it up in Mission 3. Like that sort of setting them at home with no war really allows me to anchor to the character, and then you put them in these extreme circumstances and it means so much more.
Now, in saying that, though, I do believe your brother does you dirty a little bit when it comes to pulling the grenades a little bit too prematurely.
No,
you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about, and I love it because at the start, I think it's in Mission 3 at that table, she says you always do stuff too early, and he, denies it. Like, they set it up. There you
go. Okay, because I was beautiful. Like, wow, dude, maybe don't drop 4 grenades before I'm out of the bloody room.
I'm trying to remember the exact language she uses. Maybe it was something about discipline or whatever, but it was always like, you're doing stuff too quick, mate. And I just thought it was brilliant the way they put them together.
Oh, well, I just love this level because it's a bit slower paced. I do like the more methodical shooting, and it doesn't feel like, enemies just coming at you for the sake of coming at you until you move forward. Like you got one enemy. This whole pistol section with this was so much fun to actually sort of come at the guy. I really enjoyed this level. And
but specifically with carrying this guy, man, can you name another escort mission in a Call of Duty game that's enjoyable? Because I was
going to say, in a Call of Duty game, no.
I reckon that's the best they've ever done, an escort mission in Call of Duty.
Yeah, it was real good. And I do like when they do these ones, all of a sudden your gun does have unlimited ammo, because otherwise you'd be screwed. And she reloads, coming from experience, she reloads that gun with one hand way too well.
Are you going to spend some time at the shooting range, Steve, practicing on your reloading one hand?
Practicing my one-handed reload, yeah, in 0.5 of a second.
If you need me to go there and act injured hanging off the side of you while you do it as well for authenticity.
Yeah, nice. Let's give that a go. And as I was going to say, I really enjoyed the end of this level with the fight against the guy. It sort of made me feel a little bit Last of Us-y.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah. So I quite enjoyed that. I do always find it weird, these sort of games, though, when you are stalking someone, it's still got that Mario mentality where you must get them 3 times before they die. Because I feel like if I snuck up on someone and stabbed them in the neck, pretty sure they're going to die.
He was a very tough Nazi, right?
He was very tough. I did enjoy that. They went up close and personal with it, because I thought it might just be a sniping thing, but I really enjoyed they just made you do it with a knife.
Yeah, I got to say, that's another props I got to give them for the campaign this year. The adding little like special moves. I don't know what you call it for each of the different characters. Like, and hers is crouching, sneaking, somewhat cat-like. And you're right, they do it beautifully. They don't cram it down your throat. It's in there enough for you to remember, but then you're out of there before it outstays its welcome. It's beautifully timed.
No, that's right. So I was the previous guy had his like slow-mo sort of shooting and vision stuff, which is a bit like, you think it kind of takes you out of it a little bit, because the other one's a bit more realistic. Like, she's got one where you can call, your brother to hold up a knife, which is quite cool and a bit more bound in reality, whereas the other one's just that I can see through walls now, and it's like, oh, do you have superpowers, or are you just heightened senses? I don't know, but I'm excited for the next level. Like, I've just watched the start cutscene. You're playing as the Aussie, so I'll be interested to see how they take our Aussie character in the desert. So can't wait.
Now, I watched the opening cutscene. I just stop and play. I do it every time. But did you enjoy the banter between the 3 Aussies at the card table?
I did. I was going to say, I literally probably paused it just after like a tiny bit of dialogue with the card stuff, and I'm like, I'll leave this for next time.
They've made it so Aussie. I love it. I'm such a big fan of it. And now, Steve, to wrap this bad boy up, are you now going to proceed with me one story, one mission a week?
I think I will now. Now that I've caught up, I think, because I was like, no, I want to just do that. And that's another thing I wanted to say. They did like an update to COD since the last time I played it, which is really frustrating, because I just got to that sort of, you shoot the sniper out of the tree in that level just before you get to the findings. Yeah. But the update wiped all mid-campaign level saves. So I was like, that was my barrier for getting back into it, because I'm like, I can't be bothered doing that whole bit, because I'm playing on the hardened. So it hasn't been. It was taking me a bit longer because it's not as easy. So I was like, I just do all that whole bit again. And it was frustrating, but I got through it, and I'm glad I did, because I got to play Lady Stalingrad, Lady Nightingale and Stalingrad. Yeah. And I'm glad I did now. So we'll keep rocking through with you one level a week.
Yeah, I love it. Awesome. For everyone playing along at home, feel free to join us and sound off in that chat as we go. But of course, now, Steve, the one and only Bush news, if I can find my little news thing. No. It's called Pear-shaped, but we're there. All right. Story number 1, Microsoft, I should note this is from GameSpot. Microsoft announces major changes to Halo Infinite's microtransaction system. Steve, it sounds like you're all across it, mate. Tell us things.
So, Troy, I have to just stall for a little bit, because I was actually just checking our YouTube chat very quickly.
Well, apologies. Allow me to read you the subheading. We are focused, this is a quote, I assume, from somebody at Microsoft. We are focused on reducing pricing across the board, providing stronger values in our bundles, starting to put individual items outside of bundles, and more.
Oh, that's right, yeah. So this is a good news. I think 343 continues to listen to the feedback from players when it comes to Halo and its multiplayer, and it just seems to always cop flack for the store and store prices, and I can see why. Like, I think they brought out the thing called Mr. Chief, which was a new little AI voice that sort of sounds like Master Chief, and it cost $20 just to get that one thing, which is a lot of money. That's like, what, a quarter of the price of a video game just for that one little thing and a couple of little dangly to go off your gun.
It's what, $5 more than a battle pass, and that should be like an unlock of one tier of a 100-tier battle pass.
Yeah, something like that. So I'm hoping they're looking at that kind of stuff, the progression stuff in obviously the multiplayer. It is all cosmetic and stuff anyway. So as I said, I don't really play Halo for the cosmetics, but there's plenty of people out there that do. So it's good to see. Hopefully they can get the store working and there's some better stuff for people to look at. I know they had the cat's ears stuff recently that everyone went crazy over.
I don't know anything about it. What happened with cat's ears?
Oh, they had this like armor sort of unlock for helmet, and it gave you like cat's ears.
Oh my goodness.
A whole bunch of memes and stuff coming out saying squad goals and stuff with groups of people just wearing cat's ears, and then there's the other groups that take the game seriously. So,
call me when they put the dog tails in, then I'll come back. I'm more of a dog man.
That's right. I mean, I would really love it if they did sort of start looking at cosmetic unlocks and stuff for the campaign and sort of maybe expanding on what the campaign is and whether it can have kind of like a Destiny thing where you've got dailies and weeklies where you can go out there and give you a reason to go out there and fight those and do different fobs or something like that, and unlocking different fobs might give you different armor unlocks for Master Chief or give him a few more powers or something that you can switch in, switch out. Like, I'm interested to see whether that's what their plan is or whether they're going to stick with standalone story DLC and just leave it at that and add sort of biomes and stuff. But I wouldn't mind seeing sort of weeklies and dailies and stuff coming to Halo just to give us a reason to go in there and shoot things because it's just so goddamn fun to do so.
Yeah, I know, man. We've said it before. I'll say it again. Just extend out that ring surface and give me more surface missions. I'll be there every day of the week.
Absolutely, and give us co-op, which I know we're getting soon.
Woo! Co-op for the win. All right, story number 2, Call of Duty 2022 is rumoured to arrive early due to poor Vanguard sales. Steve, GameSpot is kicking their teeth in. What do you think, mate?
Well, I don't know if there's any validity to this. I think there was a tweet or something that went out, but I could see it happening, but not so much for the campaign side of things, even though it is going to be Modern Warfare 2, and I absolutely adored and was probably one of my favourite Call of Duties ever was the Modern Warfare remake they did.
Mm-hmm.
The multiplayer as well was really good, but I think if the numbers are down in sort of Warzone and the multiplayer and the zombies, which don't seem to be doing well, I could see this coming out earlier.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all, man. If we had a big list of the games released around that time, it'd be interesting to see if also they were trying to get out of something else's way. Because what is it normally? November 10, 11, right around there is the traditional Call of Duty release date. I wonder if there's a massive hitter right there that they were trying to avoid.
Yeah, I don't know, because I know it seems like developers are stacking their games at the front and the sort of back ends of the years these days. Like February just become the new Christmas or just before Christmas with all the games that come out now.
Yeah,
and it used to be the spot where you could get a game out and just it will go gangbusters because there's nothing else to play at the time. But now it seems like there's a lot more sort of games slotting into that. So I could see it doing like a July, August release for Call of Duty if it's ready. I don't want to release it if it's not ready, but. If that camp.
I've got the tweet up here, mate, that's saying this is Tom Henderson hearing rumblings that the title could be released in October due to Vanguard's poor sales performance.
Yeah, so I mean, I won't mind. Like Call of Duty for me, give and take. At the moment, I'll play all of them. Let's be honest. I said I wasn't going to play this one. Guess what? I'm playing it. I'm enjoying it. So if this comes early, I'll probably get it and I'll probably play it and I'm going to enjoy it. But I don't care if it comes out at the end of the year. It's not like if it comes early, it's going to get me too excited because there's going to be plenty of things to play this year. But let's just wait and see.
You would think, if anything, they would do a big something with Warzone because Warzone's like its own entity now. Why not do something big with Warzone in October and then keep your standard November release date and just hit it twice? I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
Not I.
Who knows? Who knows what they're doing? But yeah, I'm excited to play another Modern Warfare campaign.
Yeah, definitely. Keep your eyes on this space, people. Things are moving. Story number 3 this evening, Dying Light 2, thanks to IGN, will take at least 500 hours to fully complete, and the main story and side quests will take roughly 70 to 80 hours. Steve, how do you feel about this? Dying Light 1, mate, did you finish it, and how long did it take you?
I did finish it, and I finished the DLCs as well. I reckon I'll probably maybe put between maybe 50, 60 hours in across that whole game.
So how
really enjoyed it.
How does a 70 to 80 campaign main story sound to you?
That actually sounds pretty good. I reckon for a game like that, which, an open world action game sort of won't normally go for that. So it's obviously got that sort of RPG kind of hook possibly to it as well.
Yes.
And And I'm down for just some more Dying Light, a prettier version that runs better. And coming out, February 4, that's not far away at all now. And I think the first one dropped early in the year as well when there was nothing else around it, which is why I think it did so well. I think there's a lot of expectations on Dying Light 2 to be good and others.
Was Dying Light 1 given away free at some point? Was it a, Games with Gold or something?
I reckon it might have been. I reckon maybe a couple of years ago, I think they were giving it away Games with Gold or something, because I don't think we had Game Pass back when it was doing it.
I'm pretty sure I've got access to it and I never bought it and I never played it.
Oh, mate, it's got some of the best parkour systems going around, and the melee combat's awesome. And then by the time you sort of get towards the end of the game, you start unlocking firearms and guns and crossbows and getting all different types of electricity arrows and all that kind of stuff. The game gets really, really fun. It's just, you go back to play it now, and I played it I think it was the start of last year. I reckon I chucked it in just to have another go. And the only thing that got me was, I think it was the frame rate, and so the graphics were a little bit dated, but it was still really fun. So if they could sort of update those mechanics and give me a beautiful sort of open world game to play, I don't think I'll spend 500 hours in it, because that's you playing Returnal kind of length. But I think if it hits right, it's the start of Feb. What do we got? A few things, we'll go into that later, but there's a few things that are coming out around that time. I think Dying Light's one of the first things to come out, so you might get a couple of weeks with this, and if it gets its hooks in, and I can see myself playing it for a while. But it's been a while, actually, since we've probably had a good zombie game. They used to be a dime a dozen coming out, but I feel like we haven't had one for a while.
Yeah, I'm just quickly now trying to think back. What was the last zombie game I played? Well, it would almost be The Last of Us 2.
Yeah, anything with a story, basically. I mean, you've obviously had Back 4 Blood, which is it's a bit different.
Back 4 Blood? No, that is way closer. Yeah.
Back 4 Blood. But I mean, that's sort of your more action sort of co-op shooter thing. I don't think I've played a zombie campaign since maybe Last of Us 2, which is now probably 2 years ago.
Wow, that's crazy to think about, isn't it? All right, story for this evening is Hitman Trilogy is coming out next week, and it's on Xbox Game Pass. Hello.
What have you got Hitman on at the moment? Are you PS5 or?
I've got Hitman 3 on Xbox, on PlayStation and PC.
Oh, wow. Where are you putting all your time in at the moment?
I like to split my time pretty evenly, actually. I think I'm at level 118 on Xbox and 178 on PlayStation. So a few more hours into the PlayStation. And I only picked up Hitman 3 on PC 2 weeks ago in an end-of-year sale. So, and now that it's on Xbox Game Pass, I could have used that $20 elsewhere.
It can, but I want to ask you this though: the fact that you've got level 100 in both those, wouldn't it be better just to spend double the time on one of those things and unlock more things for one type of game?
I hear what you're saying, mate, but it's learning the simulation and getting good at executing certain things that I really enjoy. And when I do a perfect run on the Xbox, I immediately jump over to the PlayStation and try to replicate it there. I just enjoy it.
It's good. This might actually get me back into Hitman, because I think I'll just install it back on my console. I think it's a pretty hefty install from memory if you do all three.
Yeah, I want to say it's 116 gigs if you've got everything installed, I think.
Yeah, okay, that's all right. I think I've got the space on the Xbox. There's no chance I've got the space on the PlayStation, but Xbox, I can always make some room, even though I think I might reinstall the Mass Effect trilogy as well. So,
look out. That's a lot of fun.
Also on Game Pass.
That's true. But yeah, Hitman Trilogy, which I love. Then the question for me, Steve, have you seen it anywhere? And I haven't been going to look it up. Is there any chance we've got a second trophy list / achievement list for the Hitman Trilogy? Like if it's got its own title, if it's not Hitman 3 anymore, if it's now the Hitman Trilogy, which includes 1, 2, 3, can I earn all those achievements again, trophies again?
That is a good question. I have no idea. Anyone in the chat, if you've got any idea, let us know.
That'd be exciting. That'd be exciting to me. And just the byline here is the game's release ties in with its Steam debut, and the launch of Hitman VR on PC. And that got me thinking, Steve. I delved backwards into the news archives because it just rang a little something in my mind. Let me pull up this gem from the 28th of November, 2019. So going back a few years now, Phil Spencer, nobody's asking for VR on Xbox. is what Phil Spencer claimed at the time. But let me now draw your eye to this list. This is a list of 7 titles. That's right, 7 titles in Xbox Game Pass that support VR. My question to you, Steve, is are they going to stealth drop a VR headset at some point and then just casually say, plus we've got X amount of titles already on Game Pass?
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Like, doesn't that number strike you? For the quote again from Phil, nobody is asking for VR. Their marketing today has 7 titles in Game Pass that are VR supported. I'm suggesting he's changed his tune. I'm suggesting somebody at Microsoft is now interested in VR because this list is mounting and no one's talking about
potentially.
it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, they're obviously putting a lot of their stakes currently in the whole Game Pass thing and their Xbox that are first-party studios making games. But what's to say one of those 20 new studios they've got isn't a VR company that's working on a VR? I don't know.
And wrap your head around this for the launch angle of it, Steve. They do their first native PC headset themselves because they've never released a Microsoft VR headset. They've got Microsoft Mixed Reality. It's a brand, but they don't do the actual headsets like it's Samsung and HTC and these that do, or is it the hand? There's other manufacturers that do the headsets, is my point. But what's to stop them next year, the year after, coming out with a Microsoft or Xbox VR headset for the PC that also works on the Xbox console itself?
That's a good point. Even think about the PC side of things, but that actually makes very good sense. If you've got this headset and the PC people are going to use it and it's a good headset, and then you can just plug it straight into your Xbox Series S and X as well. Like, I can see that doing pretty well.
And bang, you look at it and I'm making up numbers here, but say the new PSVR 2 when it gets properly priced at the end of this year, making up numbers, but say it's $500. And then on top of that, it's like $500 for the headset, okay, and then plus, $50 to $100 for every game after it. If you want to add 7 games to that list, your $500 investment's more like an $800 investment. But if the Microsoft do an exactly the same price of $500 VR headset, but you get 7 games for free with part of Xbox Game Pass, they're suddenly making the PSVR look like a bad deal.
They really are, and you can imagine like their first-party titles, 2 that came out just last year, I think would lend themselves very good to a VR kind of game, especially Forza Horizon. Yes. I think if you get that game working in VR, I think you don't need to even release a new game. That game's already in Game Pass. You get Playground Games to implement some kind of VR stuff in that. That would be insane, especially if you can get VR plus your steering wheel. Like, what kind of immersive experience you've got there, and you've got something better than PlayStation's ever going to have.
You certainly do, man. And I don't know, I just wanted to, it jumped out, that headline struck me, and I just thought I'd make mention of it here. If it ever comes to fruition, you heard it here first.
I like it. There's plenty of things we can speculate on for that for hours, I'm sure.
Oh, we can indeed. Now, if I hit that button there, as I bring back up my list, because I've forgotten where we're at in these runnings. What's up next? Oh, it's the game releases for this week, of course. I'm being very
What's coming out this week? Let's have a look.
Great question, Steve. Let me fight with my tabs and then hit this button. Boom! There we go. Thanks to the Game Informer website. We have the new releases coming out this week. Steve, I hope you've done your own work because I haven't done any. The first one is Shadow Man Remastered coming out for the Switch. Any thoughts, Steve?
I remember playing this game back in PlayStation 2 days, I think. It was a third-person kind of action-y game. I don't remember a whole bunch about it. I remember the hell out of that front cover for whatever reason.
I don't think I've ever seen it before, the cover or the game.
No, I remember that cover vividly, and I think back in the day my parents wouldn't let me have it because they thought it looked too, I don't know, a bit adult for me. That's all. I didn't play much of it when I was old enough because by the time I was old enough to play it, there was much better games to play. So I don't think we'll be checking that one out.
Fair enough. All right, next up, Nobody Saves the World, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, and PC. That screams Game Pass to me with that release schedule.
It is Game Pass, Troy, and this one I'm actually looking forward to. This one looks really good. This has got indie hit written all over it.
Oh, okay.
I feel like this is probably going to top-down action RPG arcade something possibly stuff as well. It's hard to explain. It's made by the guys that make Guacamelee, so you know the combat's going to be really good.
Wait, don't tell me Drinkbox Software
Yeah, I think it was Drinkbox. Yeah, so I really enjoyed the Guacamelee games. I thought the art style was really good. The combat was good. I thought the exploration was some of the best Metroidvania there's been of recent times.
Steve, if you've never multiplayed Guacamelee, that is an awesome couch co-op with your young man.
Oh, that'd be good. Is that where someone plays as the chicken and the other person plays? Oh, you both play as...
Yeah. You can both pick it up and switch out your character models, but that is a lot of fun with your kids. Guacamelee, we're talking about it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I can't wait for Nobody Saves the World. And from the rumblings I'm hearing, it's going to be quite a decent game. So the fact that we don't even have to fork out any money for it because we're Xbox Game Pass subscribers, I cannot wait.
And you can check it out as soon as tomorrow, January 18th. Exciting stuff. Now,
tomorrow, it is
tomorrow, River City's Girls is coming to the PlayStation 5. Game Informer rated it a 7 out of 10.
From what I've seen, it looks like kind of like your side-scroller beat-em-up game akin
exactly
to
like
Fighters.
Well, it looks to me that cover art reminds me of Double Dragon. I'm thinking Double Dragon.
Yes, very, very similar to that. So from what I've seen, that's exactly what it is.
I hope the start of level 1 is the two River City girls walking along side by side with their boyfriend behind them, and then he gets mugged and kidnapped.
Oh, that would be
fantastic. Then you've got to spend the next levels trying to get back to him.
I probably will have something like that.
That'd be brilliant. If you know in the chat, let me know how the game starts. Am I close? Next up on PC, Expeditions Rome, January 20th. No idea.
No idea as well. It's potentially probably... Yeah, that's if I had to guess, that's probably what I would say it is.
Yeah, I'm guessing RTS. Now, it's not paparazzi. No, it's paparazzi on Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One PC. Again, that read-off reads to me like it's a Game Pass one.
It could be Game Pass, and you said you did like dogs earlier, so this might be a game for you. But I ask you, Troy, do you also like Pokemon Snap?
No, I can't say.
No, well, this game may not be for you because this is essentially Pokemon Snap with doggos.
Speaking of kind of alright ideas mashed together poorly, next up is Rainbow Six Extraction. That's
the best segment of the year, everyone.
PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XX, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Stadia, PC. My goodness, they even list Stadia on the old Game Informer website. Good on them.
Stadia's still around.
Well, I think Game Informer's support for the Stadia is exceeding Google's support for the Stadia at this moment.
Yes. Now, am I right in saying Rainbow Six Extraction is also Xbox Game Pass, or am I wrong there?
No, you've nailed that, mate. It sure is available on Xbox Game Pass.
There you go, because I'm not going to pay money for it, but I might check it out with you if we don't have to pay money for it.
Yeah, mate. January 20, check out the channel. We'll be doing the Let's Install. It'll be, offensive, but we can certainly play it. I reckon I've probably only got 2 rounds in me, mate, so you've got to be there when I've installed it, because 2 rounds and then it's off the hard drive.
From what I've heard, if people play this and just from all the previous already, like it just makes you want to go play actual Rainbow Six.
Yeah. Oh, remember when this was a good game? Oh, yeah, let's go play that version.
Can't be any worse than the Anacrusis, that's for sure.
And then next up, we have Windjammers 2. I'm going to say fan favourite, but I am not a fan. I've never played Windjammers, the original. How about you, mate?
No, I have not. What kind of game is it? Is it like a try and score, throw a frisbee kind of thing into?
My assessment of it would be: Do you remember California Games?
I do.
I believe it's side on California Games style, and you just throw frisbee. You're at one end, and then your opponent at the other, and then you're just timing the throw and catch.
So it's Pong.
It's kind of Pong-esque. That's why I never jumped at it. I'm like, I don't get why I'd want to play a California Games. Like, because the graphics kind of look like old and spritey, and I don't see the appeal.
Yeah, neither do I, mate. Neither do I.
All right, well, we'll move on from that one. Next up, here's one that we're both keen for, coming out on the Switch, Steve. Baby Storm on January 21.
It's funny. I did check out a trailer for this because I was like, "What the heck is this thing?" And I reckon my jaw hit the floor for the whole time I was watching this trailer. Just not because it was any good, but because I was just like, "What is this? Who is this for?" No, Like, kids don't want to play this. Adults aren't going to play this. It just looks like a horrendously bad party game with babies where you get to change nappies. Like, that's clearly the most fun part of being an adult and a parent, isn't it, Troy?
Well, reading off the title, Baby Storm, what I was imagining was that it's you with an umbrella running around a level on a street and there's just babies dropping out of the air and you're trying to avoid them.
Oh, that would be more fun than the gameplay I looked at. That was you just running around. Yeah, I don't know. You just have to look at. They kind of look like the rabbits, but they're people.
Oh,
like they've got the same. Like if you click on if you just look close up at the cover, they just look like rabbits, but people because they got no noses. They got the same beady looking eyes.
Oh yeah, they are definitely rabbits. You've nailed that, man. Ubisoft presents Baby Storm.
What the developers Baby Corp? Like,
oh wow,
they really leaned to the baby thing, don't they?
They sure have. May I suggest that this was a uni experiment? It sounds like a team of people that got together at uni and then were given money and told they had to come up with a studio name.
It really does, and I think in the future there'll be theses written about the development of Baby Storm. I'm sure there's a story to be told.
And then after that, but on the same day, January 21, we have Mousecraft coming to the Xbox One. Wow. Game Informer's rated it an 8. It's coming in a couple of weeks. That's okay. Mousecraft, I'm just wondering why it's exclusive to a last-gen console. That strikes me as very odd.
Oh, that's very odd. I think it's going to be more of a PC thing. I did check it out. It's sort of a side-scroller puzzle game as well. Like I used to play similar games back in the day. Like the name of the game I used to play is eluding me, but it looked like that, and I was like, it's kind of fun. I'm not going to play it because I don't like these types of games anymore. But yeah, I mean, it seems to be getting good reviews, and a lot of YouTubers that have got previews of the game seem to enjoy it as well. And good on Crunching Koalas, obviously in on YouTube as well, because I see them in quite a few of the chats commenting and appreciating people playing their games. So yeah, good on them.
Perfect. I love it. Now that does wrap up the Game Informer upcoming releases for the week. So I need to hit that button there, and then I need to work out what's next. The standoff is next. Of course it is. Of course it is.
Troy, you've got to ask yourself one question.
Yes. Do I feel lucky? Like, do I feel lucky, punk? But why? You're right, Steve. That's an excellent question.
Who will fight?
Who will fight? All right. Now, you'll have to forgive me, everybody. This came together very last minute. So it's a very ordinary list I've got for you this week, but we're going to run down it. This is the biggest releases, the biggest gaming moments, what we're looking forward to in Q1 this year. So over the next, 2.5 months is left, I suppose. This is the big hitters that we've identified here. 20th of Jan, Hitman 3 Year 2 starts. I'm all about that PSVR. Gotta love it. Then 8 days later, Jan 28, Uncharted Legacy of Thieves. Steve, I know you and I are both keen for that one. Feb 4, we've got Dying Light 2. Obviously, Steve gave us the words on that one earlier. Now, then on the 8th of Feb, is it Sifu? I'm not sure. Sifu. There you go. Sifu. Hearing a lot of people talk about it. Not sure, not sold on it myself yet, but there is a lot of positive buzz out there for it. 20th of Feb, Horizon Forbidden West. Does Aloy need any further introduction? I doubt it. 22nd of Feb, Destiny 2, The Witch King. Steve, I know you're there. You're keen. Let me guess, you've pre-ordered and preloaded and you're just waiting.
I'm very close. I saw there is bonuses that unlock straight away for pre-ordering, and I'm very, very close, Troy.
Now, Steve, you, I believe, would have finished working at EB's when this happened, but I've got to think somewhere in your home nerd collection you've got the real-life replica of the Gallahorn somewhere.
I don't.
Oh, no!
I don't. I do have a quest in the game currently where you can unlock the Gallahorn, but every time I try and do it, I get absolutely destroyed. So I need to. I think I've hit the soft tier level cap of 1270. I'm up to 1271, and I think you've got to do a fair bit of grinding to get yourself even higher to be able to get that. So we'll get there, though, Troy. We'll get there.
Well, now does my Gallahorn from like Destiny 1 still work, or do I have to earn it again?
I reckon it does. I feel like because I've started now, and the exotics that I had unlocked, you get exotic like keys that you can sort of go back and buy some of the exotics you've already unlocked. And I was given like 3 or 4, so I was able to go back and buy some of the exotics that I did have, and you can just upgrade them as well.
Nice.
So the way all the systems work now, it was actually really nice for me to go in there and like not lose anything I had. And from the old previous seasons you played, you could even buy exotics that you didn't have that you may want from those seasons as well, provided you got the coins for them. So it's a little nice touch I really liked.
Nice one. And then 25th of Feb is Elden Ring. And then 4th of March, Gran Turismo 7. And 25th of March, last one on the list, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. There's an S on the end. I always say Wonderland, but I need to correct it. It's Wonderlands. There's multiple Wonderlands.
Sorry, a bit of trivia. There's 2 games here that have the same voice actor as the main character. Can you pick which 2 of those games are?
I'm going to say Tiny Tina's Wonderland, Uncharted Legacy of Thieves.
Close, you got one of the 2.
No, I don't know the other one, man. Is it Horizon?
It is Horizon. Yes.
Is she not?
Yes.
Is she not one of the voices though in Uncharted, or have I got that wrong?
She probably is. I don't know if she's any of the ones in the game we'll be playing. No, she's probably not.
Now, riddle me this: Legacy of Thieves. What's included?
Legacy of Thieves, you get Uncharted 4 and Uncharted Lost Legacy remastered for the PlayStation 5, running at 60 frames per second, 4K.
And if I own both of those already on PS4, do I get a discount or free PS5, or is it a totally different thing?
I think it's a totally different thing. I think because they're PS5 ground-up versions of the game, I think you do have to purchase the Legacy. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure you do have to repurchase it because I remember thinking to myself, I am going to pay money for that no matter what. I can't wait to play those games in all the gloriousness on my brand new TV. I think it's going to be an insane time playing those at 60 frames because even playing it now back in 30 frames, it's a very smooth 30 frames per second Uncharted puts out.
Yeah.
Just like The Last of Us did and even Red Dead Redemption recently I went back and played that. Even though it's 30, it still plays really nicely. But to play Uncharted 4, arguably one of the best looking games, is probably going to be almost the best looking game on PS5, I reckon.
Yeah, it's amazing. And sorry, mate, I'm just looking here quickly at the list. Hitman 3 is Dying Light 2 Game Pass?
It's not. No.
Sifu, is that? I feel like I've heard...
Sifu is PlayStation exclusive.
Oh, I don't know why I thought I'd heard that. Now, Destiny 2 has been in Game Pass. Did they pull that back out, or is it still in Game Pass?
Destiny 2 is free to play now, so I think it might have been. Yeah, so Destiny 2 itself free to play, and you got to pay for the DLCs. So you can get Destiny, you can play it, but if you want all the content, you do have to pay for it.
Check. All right. So, and Elden Ring, Gran Turismo, obviously not. And I doubt Tiny Tina's Wonderlands because there's no Borderlands in Game Pass, is there? Like, not even the originals, I believe.
There's not. So looking at this first quarter, Troy, I'm going to fork over a bit of cash.
Looking at this first quarter, it's mainly Sony. Uncharted Legacy of Sea, Sifu, Horizon Forbidden West, Gran Turismo 7.
Because that's where I'm playing that. But, Turismo 7.
They've got 4 exclusives. 4 of the big 9 are
they do, don't they?
Exclusives. Certainly this first quarter is shaping up to be very... PlayStation-y, but I believe the big ones that I'm interested in, we know Hitman 3 is cross-platform. Elden Ring's cross-platform, isn't it?
Yeah, which is weird because I just for some reason associated as being a PlayStation game. So.
Well, what's their name? It's not Bluepoint. From Software, we're forever doing stuff exclusively for PlayStation, so I understand where the thoughts come from. But Sony could have snapped them up back in like 2012. Sony could have snapped them up. Imagine if they hadn't locked them down then. They would have got Sekiro and they got Bloodborne exclusive anyway. But they would have got Sekiro and Elden Ring exclusive. My gosh.
Yeah, I know. Missed opportunities there. What are you going to play Elden Ring on? PS5 or Xbox?
Ooh, I don't know, man. Do we know? I assume lead platform would be PlayStation. I'm leaning towards PlayStation.
I'm leaning towards PlayStation as well.
But now that I think about it, my free space on the PlayStation is such a headache.
That's one thing I'm like, if the game hopefully comes in around, 20, 30 gigs, I reckon PS5. If it's, sitting around 80, I'm going to have to probably go Xbox.
Yeah, you'd think minimum 60. I'd think minimum 60 for Elden Ring. I don't know. Pure speculation.
Yeah, for a big open world like that, I'm thinking it's not going to be small.
And then the other one I'll note, the 4th of March Gran Turismo 7. I can't wait with the new steering wheel mount I've got in the studio to get my hands on that Gran Turismo 7. And do we know, is there any talk of VR support for it? Is there PSVR support on Gran Turismo 7? I know,
No talk
because it was GT Sport, wasn't it? GT Sport has VR support,
yes.
the last one they did. So
I reckon you will see definitely when they bring PSVR to it. I think you'll find Gran Turismo will slot right into that. But I think until then, I think we're not going to see it. That's my thoughts.
That's a great call you make, man. I wouldn't put it past Sony to have it as a $20 add-on DLC whenever the PSVR 2.
I guarantee it releases with it.
Free, you reckon? Free, no charge?
I reckon free, or if it's not free, it is coming out with that. I know they're updating. They're doing the whole Game Pass Essential Contender at the moment. There's talk of a new PlayStation Plus coming through and higher tiers and stuff like that. So I think it could be one of those deals where, they're also saying they're not going to include any first-party stuff day one as part of their deals, but you know, this is where they could probably get it.
Sorry, this should have been in the news, and it's just struck me now, Steve. But are you across the talk, and maybe you just kind of alluded to it, I guess, the Spartacus, the PlayStation Now rolled into PlayStation Plus. Internal reference name is Spartacus.
Yeah, that's right. I did. I remember hearing that. And I think they are sort of starting to try to get through the whole Game Pass thing. But
the big one is, did you see the data mining today? They've had PS3 titles in Europe start to show up in pounds. You can buy like PS3 games for £8 or something.
I did see that, and I actually meant to add it to our doc, and I completely forgot.
You and I both, man. You and I both see that story and forgot to add it.
I was going to send you like, hey, look at this, and I just completely forgot to do that as well. But no, I did see PS3 games showing up in there, so I think you'll start to see a bit more backwards compatibility. And I just would like to see some first-party titles come day and date. I just don't think they'll do that because I know they can sell their top-tier games for top-tier prices, and I don't think they're going to allow anyone just to sort of get as a part of a service. Not yet, anyway.
Not yet, anyway. And it made me think, mate, of MLB The Show. It'd be funny if next year's like they've both got essentially Game Pass, and Microsoft Game Pass gives it to you day and date, and Sony make you pay for the first 3 or 6 months. That would just be such a strange turn of events. But
it would. I can't wait to see. Mate, all I get out of this is that each sort of company at the moment is probably making the other one better because they're all both looking at iterating. True. Like Xbox is like, we want to do something more with that controller. Sony's like, we need to do more with our game services. And hopefully, in a couple of years' time, we see the fruits of both of those labour and come to heed.
And another story has just entered my head that wasn't in the news but should have been. Did you see the unconfirmed but analysis ratings of the console sales came out of Europe?
Oh, no, I did see something. I saw a headline for a news article that read, the console race is closer than you think. Was that the one?
It's like Xbox is at 11 million sold and PlayStation's at 14 million sold, right around there. I honestly thought it would be like 2, 3, 4, 5 to 1 in PlayStation's favour. But to hear they're only a mil or two off the pace, it's phenomenal to hear they're that close. I love it.
That's huge, and I think it could obviously come down to parts, obviously the chip shortage and COVID and stuff causing PS5s not being able to get out the door. That's probably the thing. But I mean, Xbox has got the same thing. Like they've got chip shortages as well. And I just feel like it is easier to get an Xbox than a PS5, though.
Yeah, they're both in the exact same situation, but now Microsoft look like geniuses for doing the Series S. PlayStation wish they had like. The only thing PlayStation do, they announced they're going to keep producing PlayStation 4 Pros. It's like
I did see that story as well. Like, to counter the PS5s, we're going to make more PS4s.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It's like if you compare an Xbox Series S and what's available on it, Game Pass, to the PlayStation 4 Pro without Game Pass, like there's no competition there. It's so obvious in Microsoft's favour. It's amazing.
It is.
Now, if I can try and close out the standoff, Steve, we have to pick a winner out of these 9. What do we think would be the biggest moment for Q1 this year? Biggest
Q1.
Moment.
I reckon, having just gone back, I didn't put it down as games I've been playing recently, but I did reinstall Horizon Zero Dawn just to check that out with its new 60-frame patch, and it does still look very nice for an older game, and it's quite fun. And I think if Horizon Forbidden West can sort of hit on the more open worldness and like movement that Zelda Breath of the Wild came out with, and from what I've seen of the combat and the world building and the way she can move around the world a bit more freely now, like you could in Zelda, I think Horizon Forbidden West has got like a chance to sort of really hit really hard and potentially be Sony's biggest game this year. Like I think God of War may slip to 2023.
I think that's a certainty, and I wouldn't be surprised if that doesn't come out till 2024.
And even you look at those brothers, God of War being so good, God of War 2's got a lot to live up to, whereas Horizon sort of had a bit of room to move. So I could see, Horizon, as good a game as it was, has so much space to improve. And if they can do that, I reckon we're in for one very special game. So for me, I reckon potentially Horizon Forbidden West could be the shining light of the first quarter this year.
Very good. For me, it's a toss-up. It's almost a three-way tie. I think the winner for me is Elden Ring. However, I'll note I cannot underscore how excited I am for Hitman 3 in VR on PC.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, if I was going personal choice, I would be picking Uncharted because I'm ridiculously excited for that, and I would also go for fun of Destiny 2 Witch Queen. I'm trying to be holistic and go, this is what I think is going to be the biggest moment, like across the board.
Yes.
But so it depends how you want to judge this. How you want to go, personal opinion. What is my favourite biggest moment, or what do we think is going to be the biggest moment? How do you want to judge this?
I don't know what I just did there. I think we should do it off. Let's go, because you're not on Twitter, are you?
No.
Either am I, so this is perfect. There's no way for us to ever be wrong on this one. What do you think will create the biggest Twitter storm? Which of those events will generate the most amount of tweets? That's what we'll use.
Most amount of tweets.
I'm going to say Elden Ring.
I was going to say, if you're going tweets, Elden Ring.
I think.
Let's do three tiers. So biggest tweets, Elden Ring. Now I'm going to go next tier is best Metacritic score.
Oh, I love this game. Yes, I agree with you. Elden Ring. Yes, for most tweets, and then biggest score. Can I ask you, Steve, do you have any knowledge of how Gran Turismo has fared in the past on Metacritic? I have no idea.
I think Sport currently sits at around, 79.
Okay. So
I think the other ones have done 90s, I think. So GD4, I think, did 90s back in the day. But the people, you got to understand, the people reviewing Gran Turismo love Gran Turismo and racing games. So if it's good, they're going to review it highly. So I think it's got a chance to score well, but I think there's a couple more here that I think, Uncharted's kind of cheating because we can probably look at its Metacritic now and it's probably in the 90s potentially.
Yeah.
Or highs, and it's probably not going to deviate a whole lot. It's going to look much better. But Metacritic score, I'm going to probably go. I reckon Horizon.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I reckon. And now, what do we reckon? I'm going to go. We'll mark this down. I'm going to say a 91 on Metacritic.
What? Steve?
Yep.
Steve is saying 91. I will guess Horizon Forbidden West. Let's see. I'm going to give it a 93.
Oh, 93. That's big as well.
93. Do we know, that's the wrong way. Do they know yet if there is a grappling hook in it?
Horizon doesn't have a grappling hook. It does have it's got a wall that seems to have a semi-grappling hook. Horizon does have a new sort of flying thing going on. I think you can launch.
It's got the glider, doesn't it, from Thingo?
It's got the glider, but I feel like it's also got something that you can actually launch yourself up onto things, kind of like a grapple hook. I feel like I remember seeing that in some of the gameplay.
Can you grapple on the back of a dino and glide through? Yeah.
I'm going
style.
I reckon you're probably going to have. I reckon they've still got some things up their sleeves for that game. So I reckon we're going to get a pretty. And then now now just for the third tier is just our biggest moment. Which one we're looking forward to the most out of all these ones on the list?
Oh, well, if it's personal like that, I'm going to go with Hitman 3 VR for me. I cannot wait to get the hands onto that one.
Nice. And for me, I'm going to say Destiny 2 The Witch Queen because I'm just having so much fun with Destiny at the moment. I just want more content.
Beautiful. So there we have it. A winner is them. That's not the standoff graphic. That isn't clicked at all. But that's fine, because that is the graphic we use when we go over to the final segment of tonight's Gaming Enforcement Agency. And thank you for joining us. We're now going over to you in the chat. Steve, what have you got for us?
Let's have a look. Right, James Marshall's in there. He hasn't really asked a question. He just says, I'm here, Troy, and hello, Troy.
Hey, James, welcome, sir. It's been, I reckon a good year since I've seen your name there in the chat. So welcome along. Thank you for coming.
And no real other questions in there that I can see at the moment. Just a couple of other random people in there saying random things. I don't understand any of it. So that's all we've got in the chat for now.
I love it. And no one reached out to me this week in Discord with any questions either. So if you're watching this at any point during the week, you don't have to be just in the live audience. You can be picking this up as video on demand after the fact and join us in the Discord server. The link's in the description of this video. Jump on in and just throw your questions in there for G.E.A. And we will add them to the list and get to you next week, if you're so inclined. But that will wrap us up. I think we can go off duty, Steve. How does that sound to you, my friend?
Like we've kicked in a lot of doors tonight. We're ready to leave your house and off duty for this game player over here.
I love it. Troy, off duty as well. Geek Aloud. Like and subscribe it. You'll never...
Oh, that was luck. Hey, that's something.
I love everything about it. Ooh.
Fire express.
Old Uncle Donkey.
Donkey.